Someone who hasn't been shooting for a while until recently, LeBron James, Jordan Katz. This one, this is an all-timer as far as I'm concerned. So LeBron has had an ailing foot for some time now. He missed 4 weeks, long time, missed a month, 13 games, as the Lakers are trying to make a playoff push here. And it looked like his season might be done until he consulted with a doctor that he referred to as, quote, the LeBron James of feet, preferring not to disclose his name, of course, who assured him that he'd be able to return the season from a torn tendon in his right foot with around-the-clock rehabilitation and training. 2 other doctors had recommended James go under the knife to repair this. But instead, he's back to participate in the Lakers' final playoff push here. Are you buying that LeBron James went to the LeBron James of feet doctors, foot doctors? I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Or is something awry here, Jordan?
You know, there's a Rex Ryan joke in here somewhere, but we're just going to move past it. I think we have seen the last of LeBron at an elite level.
Because of this injury, or you think just of how
I just think it's over. I don't think he can play a full season anymore. I don't think he can stay with the quicker players defensively, which is why, despite the fact that his offensive numbers are always a juggernaut, they still are. His team is just not where it needs to be. Now, there are other factors for that as well. Obviously, it's not a great roster. Obviously, Anthony Davis has injury history. But I think we have seen the last of LeBron in terms of being that upper echelon great player. That's my takeaway here. If you're asking me whether I buy that he went to the foot specialist and all of that jazz, what I buy is the fact that he couldn't play at an elite level for 82 games. Does that mean that he was, advised to take time off? I don't know. But I buy the fact that he can't play at an elite level for 75, 82 games anymore. I think that's very evident. And you're right. You kind of said it. It is sad. It is kind of sad because for a lot of us, that's our Jordan. That's the guy that we grew up on as an elite talent. I mean, the dude was the chosen one before he played a game. And lo and behold, he lived up to it. Who could have thought that? I mean, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Forget what he's done. So I don't know if I buy it, John, but I do think it stems an interesting question of if we have seen the last of LeBron at an elite level.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, but I guess it also questions what do you define as elite in the NBA? Like LeBron is still a guy. We talked about this in his pursuit for the all-time record here. He's still a guy that can average in the high 20s, close to 30 points a game.
Oh, yeah.
Still that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, yeah, has he lost a little bit of a step? Maybe. But he's still playing at an extremely high all-star caliber level. And, if I'm asking myself, well, is that the chemical composition of an elite player? Yeah, I still think it is. Now, there's legitimate questions to be had as to whether or not his body has that sustainability. He had the groin injury for a while that kept him out and was aggravating him. And then this... There's something a little sus about this foot doctor who we can't reference who it is.
Yeah.
Can't say his name, but he told me to stick with it. I don't know, man. I'm not here throwing accusations out or anything. Chael Sonen's doing that instead. But, I mean... Could there be something awry? Look, I want to make this very clear. I am all about athletes taking whatever doctor-approved supplements that they should to get healthy. I think we would take that, right? If we had the opportunity to get healthy.
Absolutely.
I'm all about that. So whether or not this was natural rehabilitation, I'm not accusing anything. I'm just saying I think it's worth being part of the discourse.
I will still say that I think the more likely answer is the fact that he was told he didn't need surgery. He took the time off.
I hope that's it.
The reason that I think it's it is because I think the track record's there.
Mhm.
Any injury that he has had in the last few years, he has waited longer than expected
Yes,
to
that's very
return.
true. That's very
So
true.
the track record is there for him to have waited longer than expected with this foot injury. And part of that is because, again, he plays in an elite level on the offensive end. He is still a playmaker. He is still an efficient scorer, but he can't stay with guys anymore on the defensive side. To be honest with you, I'm not going to use the word liability defensively, but I'm going to use a word that's kind of close to it because he can't lock down guys. He can't lock down Giannis for 48. He can't do it. Cannot do it. No chance. And he couldn't do it. Could he lock down a Harden who's more quick than fast? Maybe, but I think he'd struggle with that. If he were to do it, he would lose some value on the offensive end. He would have to suffer some value on the offensive end because it's just hard. It's just hard to maintain that level of play at this level for as long as he can without getting hurt. And again, you talk about a guy like Kobe, right? Like Kobe had a really long career. Kobe wasn't the athlete that LeBron is.
No.
Like the athlete that LeBron is that we've seen, you could put on one hand, if that, it might be three fingers. Like
Kobe had an instinct that made him very successful.
LeBron was sheer athleticism, and again, not to dismiss the talent. The talent is all world. It's just the athleticism combined with the talent took him to a place that is otherworldly. And now the athleticism with the age is starting to go a little bit. So how do you maximize the talent of LeBron James? In theory, you play less games.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't become one of those load management situations. I know that the league has been having talks about that with new CBA, where it sounds like to be considered for awards, you're going to have to reach a certain threshold of games played, which I don't have an issue with.
Joel Embiid just sat out a game because he didn't want to hurt his numbers against Nikola Jokic. Figure it out. Figure it out. Sorry, continue.
No, please, by all means, keep going.
Figure it out. I don't care if you have to incentivize guys to play in the 82 games. I don't care if you have to incentivize all-star games. One of my buddies came up with this idea that you get home court advantage for the entire first round. Like you get all 7 games at your place for the first round. If you have a top 4 seed, you get all 7 games at your place.
I guess.
Right? To incentivize the regular season.
I don't think that's very fair.
I don't care. Figure it out. Figure out Joel Embiid should not. That was the marquee game of the regular season. They're missing primetime games. They're missing. This started with Popovich when Popovich did this back in the mid 2010s. This started with him and it only got worse. Figure it out. Figure out a way to get your stars on the court. Because if you don't figure out a way to get your stars on the court, if you look at the NCAA numbers from this year, they're really, really good. And I'm just saying, you think that 1 + 1 would equal 2 in terms of like, oh, we want to watch basketball. No, we want to watch stars. Why did people tune in to see Caitlin Clark? They tuned in to see a star. That's
what the NBA is. The NBA is a superstar league.
You're built on star leagues. Figure it out.
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. Otherwise, we'll start posting spoilers about your favorite new movies.